What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another Chase on Two Wheels first ride. We are here at Mountain Motorsports in Marietta, the lovely people that allow me to do these first rides for you guys. Now, you know, my name is Chase on Two Wheels, and today we're on something with three wheels, but the channel is more of like a power sports channel. But Chase on Power Sports just doesn't have the same ring to it as Chase on Two Wheels. But regardless, in front of us, we have one of like two or three Can-Am 2019 Can-Am Rykers. We've got the bigger 900 Rally Edition right here. So guys, one of the cool things I love about working with Mountain Motorsports instead of like specific brands is because they're a huge power sports dealer. So there's only like two or three of these Ryker Rally Editions in the US right now, and I'm getting to do a first ride on them. They literally got it in like 2 days ago. But regardless, before we get into it, let's check out some cinematics of this very cool looking, oh God, I don't have a key. This is not gonna have the satisfaction of a key. Alright, so there's no key. Actually, that's a perfect thing to talk about first. Hopefully you guys like the cinematics, by the way. Drop a like if you did. Anyway, so the key. This little ram mount looking thing is literally the key to this bike. The cool thing that the guys in there were telling me is with Can-Ams, if you have multiple Can-Am vehicles, you can program that key to work with all your other bikes. So let's just say you're, balling on no budget, and you've got two of these and two bigger models. You can program them all to that key, and you just pop that key in wherever you want to go. Also, it's not really a key, it's just like a little ram mount ball joint, and the bike's still on. It's really, really cool stuff. So that's the key. So from what I understand, the Ryker is Can-Am's attempt at making an entry-level three-wheeler. Now, this is the 900. I think this one's at like mid-tens is the price, but they have a 600 model with a two-cylinder Rotax engine that is actually like 8.5. So you can get a three-wheeler. Like it's supposed to be like this entry-level option because typically, people get motorcycles because they can afford them. But now Can-Am's making something that most people can afford, and yeah, it looks pretty cool. This one is, like I said, the Rally Edition, so we've got adjustable front suspension and we've got adjustable rear suspension. Man, that thing is so cool. Alright, so I was letting them head out of here. So yeah, enough about the bike, guys. We'll talk about more about it on the ride. Let's get this thing going. Before we get going, I do want to talk about something that's really neat with this bike is customizability is something that Can-Am's really pushing with this thing, supposedly. So check this out. Look how clean this looks, right? Also, let's take a note at my legs. Like, we're low to the ground. You can see a bike next to me. We are actually lower to the ground on this thing than we are on a bike. The gas tank. Yeah. That's the gas tank. There's no nozzle to get. There's just this little thing you push and the gas just works. The foot pegs, for instance, check this out. You should just have to pull it up. It's hard to do from this angle. I can't really reach it because I got stubby arms. So I pull the lever up and I can just move this thing. There we go. So there's a lever, like a little rail here, and you can just customize where you want your levers, your foot pegs to be. That's so awesome. So that way, you don't got to do no tool crap. This is a optional accessory. Typically, this thing just rocks out the seat. But with this guy, for one, I really like the look of that, despite what it is, like this little step situation. But this way, you have somebody riding with you, they can hold on here. Final thing, press this. Look at that, a little thing. And there's USB ports up here. It's really cool stuff, man. I really love the idea of the customizability. I'm going to keep using that word regardless if it's a word. Okay. Oh, yeah, there's this thing too. Do I want to be all like... or do I want to be back some? Nah, dude, I want to be aggressive mode. Let's push this thing all the way up. Park and brake. It's now disengaged. You can see we're rolling. There is one brake. It's down there. There's no front clutch, no front brake. It's an automatic. So we've got the kill switch on. We turn it forward a little bit and hit the power button, and it cranks all the way up. Okay. There are modes. There's rally, sport, and eco. I think it's hold this button, sport mode. Okay, let's hold it again, rally mode. So the guys inside told me that rally mode is actually the most aggressive mode. Traction control is off and the power is strongest in rally mode. Obviously they have eco mode with all your modes on. What we'll do is we'll start out in the middle mode, sport mode. Cool, so we're in sport mode. Let's check this thing out. 2019 Can-Am Ryker. There's a little bit of a delay when you first push or twist the throttle. So I will say off the bat, guys, these things are way different from motorcycles. I'm already looking for a brake. I got to remember that that's my only brake. These things are totally different from motorcycles. You're not going to be counter steering. You steer in the direction you want to go, and you still lean in the direction. So it's got a little bit of motorcycle in it. Let's see if we can just go. I am not used to the rear brake down there. If you guys aren't familiar, you know, we have motorcycles on our end, like our end being people that like stuff like me, and then you have cars on the other end. And then in the middle, we have things like the Can-Am, like the Spiders and stuff like that. I'm so not used to shifting down and stuff. So in the middle of the bikes on this end, cars on this end, you have the Can-Am Spiders, you have the Polaris Slingshots, and the Can-Am is on the bike side. Like there's the middle. The Can-Am is here, bikes are here. The Polaris Slingshot is here, and then cars are here. So yeah, this is going to be a more entry-level motorcycle type machine. Now, whether you're looking at this because you don't want to have to deal with the balancing of a motorcycle, or maybe you're like I was when I first started riding and you've never ridden a motorcycle. All right, here we go. Hold on. I'm just going, and then I'm sorry, I had to. Okay, that's sport mode. The guys in the shop said that sport mode's dangerous, rally mode is insane, so I gotta be careful. If you get all the power going to the rear tire, then like, what are you supposed to do? This thing also has stability control, so if you start turning too much, supposedly you cannot flip this thing, supposedly. But anyway, this is a more entry-level person. If you don't want to go motorcycle, but you want this like open road feel, this is a better option for you. You got the stability of the two front tires, and you got that handlebar out in the open feel that you get with a motorcycle. You know, that's a big reason. Oh, this is weird. I don't like. All right, I got stability control. I can just. So stability control hypothetically will change the suspension. Oh, I can feel it. I could feel the stability control kick in. Interesting. So it seemed like the stability control actually slows the bike down. I'm going to call it a bike. It's not necessary. It's technically a trike or something, but we're going to call it a bike for today. I could feel the stability control slowing the bike down and letting me continue to turn in. That's actually really good, because a few years ago, me, Moto Nasty, and Wall Terrific, we went to New York and rode with a company called Fuser. We were doing some promo video with them. It's really cool, and I got the opportunity to ride a Can-Am Spider, and we were in the mountains. I had done some first rides on Can-Ams before, but nothing real serious. I went into a turn, a right-hand turn, pretty hot, and it was right over a bridge. I don't know if I have footage. If I can find it, I'll show you guys, but I was turning as much as I wanted to navigate the turn, but I understeered into the other lane. Now, luckily there was no cars coming, nothing happened, but I realized then that, like, you can push these things too far, but with stability control, or, you know, whatever it is, I mean, it's gotta be stability control. With that, it's gonna slow the bike down, even if you're like, no, I'm gonna go into it. And that way it's gonna keep you a lot safer. And I feel like that's something that's definitely necessary with this thing, because you guys saw, I'm not even rally mode, I'm in sport mode, and just cranking the throttle, you'll do a burnout from a stop. And you don't have to worry about the stability of a bike, so you do feel a little safer in this thing. So I like having the electronic aids, just be like, hey, don't get in too much trouble, like, I don't want you to die on this thing. So good job. And this is an entry-level bike, or, you know, thing. This is the entry-level thing. So, like, they've made it for that new person. That, my friends, is not gonna get old. Unless I get a ticket. So, you know, sitting in it, it's really comfortable, to be honest. I wonder if I can change modes while I'm slightly moving. Rally mode, yes sir. All right, so now we're in the full rally mode. That way when we get on the highway, we can actually feel the bike out. It's kind of weird coming to a stop and I can just like chill. This thing's very comfortable. I feel safe because I can get my feet on the ground, even though you're not gonna really need to get your feet on the ground with this thing, but having that low center of gravity really helps you like maneuver the thing. Oh, whoops. All right, rally mode from the get-go. I can already launch from a turn. I would have a problem. If I owned this thing, I would have a problem not staying in rally mode all the time. Supposedly you can drift this thing in rally mode. This would be a perfect opportunity. I'm not gonna be doing that because I'm not a skilled enough rider to be able to handle that. We're about to get on the highway. And when I've ridden Can-Ams before, the highway is somewhere that they just don't feel great. It's hard to explain. It's almost like they don't like going in a straight line for a long period of time. Interesting. I also feel like rally mode engages the throttle a little sooner. In sport mode, there was a little bit of play in the beginning, and like you would twist the throttle and nothing would happen. And I don't really like when that happens, because what that sometimes makes your head do is you give it more throttle because you're not getting anything back, and then you end up just going quickly. On a bike, that can be a problem. You can lose balance, whatever. You're not going to have that with this, but, you know, I don't really like that wiggle room. But rally mode seems to solve some of that. All right, so we're on the highway. We're going 62 miles an hour. Let's get up to some highway speeds. Okay, going in a straight line, that feels fine. So the one thing you are sacrificing with this thing, I'm in the highest engine model, and I'm at going 77 on the highway. Twist the throttle, it's actually more pull than I thought. You're not gonna have that instant pull that you have on a lot of like bigger engine bikes. But I will say, going in a straight line is not bad at all. I really wanna like enjoy myself with this thing. So like changing lanes, it's a little bit scary because it pivots really quickly into another lane, and it shifts your weight a little bit. So, you know, on a bike, at least for me, on a bike on the highway, I can just like not drift, but like, you know, turn all around and get really into it. But this thing kind of like takes you for a ride. Like if I'm getting in the other lane, like I can feel the bike I can feel the weight shift, if that makes sense. Oh man, that feels so much better than the other Can-Ams I've ridden. Oh, I take that back. I take everything back I said about this thing on the highway. Oh my Lord, that is awesome. Okay, it's been a minute since I rode one, but I remember specifically not liking how this thing rode on the highway. Dude, you feel so planted. Oh my God. All right. I gotta admit, man, I came into this like, it's a cheaper version. Not cheaper, but like it's the entry-level version. It's the higher engine, but it's the entry-level vehicle. It's not gonna have all the bells and whistles. Probably it's not gonna ride as well, but at least for this rally edition, could be the shocks. It's got upgraded suspension, and I'm wondering if that's the reason that this thing is a lot more fun than I remember it being. That's not a brake lever. And this is the cool thing about Can-Ams, man. Look, we're coming to a stop. No biggie. I don't got to worry about balance. All my braking is handled for me. It's freaking solid. I don't have to worry about clicking down. I'm kind of digging it. While we're stuck here at the red light, can I also comment on how nice this area looks? Like, look at that. You got these little braided cables, but like, that's it. That's the only thing you got. Also, don't tell anybody, but we're going to keep it in rally mode just because why not? Oh, I guess rally mode does have that. Rally mode didn't feel like it, but watch me turn the throttle and watch me not go. But if I turn it a little more, like, engages. So I guess it has that on both rally and sport mode, but I don't really notice it in rally mode. One thing I do appreciate about this thing is the ease of use. Sometimes bikes can get... I do really appreciate ease of use. It's really frustrating when bikes can do all this cool stuff, but then actually engaging that cool stuff is hard to do. That's really frustrating, you know, because it's like, oh yeah, I got traction control and like lean control and all this shit. And then you're like, oh cool, how do you put it in lean control? For instance, there's no lean control, but whatever. And you're like, oh, you hit the gas tank twice, and then you tickle the rear tire, and then you hit the mode select the 3 times. Like, no. Damn, son, brakes on a dime. You know, I'm sitting there thinking about this thing, and the brakes, I like the, they don't have an initial bite, but I've told you guys on previous first rides, when you're riding a bike like with Brembo brakes or something, Brembo brakes have a tendency of really, like, the brakes hit instantly. I prefer a more progressive brake. That way, if you're like, if you need to come to a stop, you just stomp on the thing, right? Especially on this, because you got 2 front tires, you got more traction. But I'm really not a fan of that initial bite that a Brembo has, because then, you know, if I'm going into a turn, I need to slow down. Dude, I don't want to be getting a lot of bite on my brakes. We'll talk about the looks later, but while we're sitting here, I do kind of wish we had a more updated dash. You know, we got this digital dash. It's fine, it does its job, but I don't know, for a new aged machine that you want to get in, like people to get into the market, I kind of want a better dash, but I also appreciate they're putting out an entry-level model, you know, so if you can cut cost on a older dash, then like, power to you, do what you gotta do. That kind of makes sense. I would rather the bike ride better than the dash look cooler. So I get it, but if it's something I could upgrade, it would definitely be that. When I was reading the Can-Am website, they make all sorts of accessories and mods you can just clip onto the bike. These orange panels, you can just pop them off, like literally pop them off and put new panels on. Hypothetically, right, you could buy this and every year you could get new panels and you'd have a brand new looking bike every single year. I like the idea of that. I really like the idea of, like, if I had a sport bike with fairings and I could easily pop the fairings off, dude, that would be so cool. I'm hoping Can-Am kind of starts a trend of, hey, let's make shit easy to do so people can really customize their machines. We're gonna pull over right over here, just right in the middle, because why the hell not? And we're gonna take this thing out. So we're gonna initiate the parking brake. Oh, and I get to show you guys reverse in a second. All right. So yeah, guys, 2019 Can-Am Ryker, the entry level to the 3-wheeled machines. So instead of having a regular wheel, check these things out. They've got like race wheels and this like pin system. I think these are cool. I like the idea of it, but here's what I really like. It's got what it looks like from here, like a single-sided swing arm look. This is an entry-level machine, dude. And you got this single-sided swing arm. I do appreciate the exhaust is, like, you can tell that Can-Am was like, look, nobody likes exhaust. Let's just tuck it down there, call it a day. Ooh. The 900 is a 3-cylinder. They make a 600 that is a 2-cylinder. I really like the look. Like, I love, like, here, let's look at it from the front. I love the look of the front. You look like you got 2 eyes, a mouth. Like, I dig that. These are DRLs, daylight running lights, or daytime running lights, whatever. They run, they look really cool. I think I got a cool shot of them in the shop. But yeah, like look how cool the swing arm looks. Like you just got this extended thing. If I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a big three-wheeled Can-Am guy. This is probably the coolest one they have, in my own personal opinion. I know a lot of you guys don't like the license plate situations like this, but personally, I would much rather have a license plate situation like that. That's stock, right? That's not bad. Instead of something hanging out right here, because that way you get this, like, look at the tail. Look how clean that looks. Like, I know this is meant for a passenger situation, but dude, I'm digging that. I dig the look. I dig the look of that more than just having this seat. It gives it more angles or something like that. So right here you guys can see the KYB suspension adjustability right here. Then you got the suspension up front. Honestly, compared to the Can-Ams I've ridden before, the three-wheeled vehicles I've ridden before, I'm thinking this is one of those situations where power is not the most important thing. Suspension is going to get you way more fun out of this machine than something like, you know, if you had the 600, I don't know if they have a Rally Edition 600, but I think I would rather have a Rally Edition 600 with a better suspension than a stock 900 without an upgraded suspension. Just my personal opinion. It is what it is. Oh, you know what? I know what I can do. Here, I'll test it. God, I'm going to put my phone in there and I'm probably going to leave it, and Mountain's going to like have to email me and be like, hey bro, you left your phone in the Ryker. There's what that's for. Obviously you couldn't put groceries in here, but you know, you can charge your phone, stuff like that. Ooh, charge a GoPro that goes right here, infinitely on. I love it. With it being an automatic, I'm not able to rev it up, so you guys are just gonna have to hear the bike as we're out on the road. I personally like customization, and it seems like not really like Ducati's doing with the Scrambler, but Can-Am, what they're doing with this is they're being like, look, we're going to give you a good base. I think this thing comes in at like 10.5 or something like that. So it's just above 10. But this is the big model, like the big engine model. But then you can get the different colored panels, so these 3 panels. And then you can get all these other accessory pieces. Like, you're going to have to go online and check out Can-Am stuff. I just really like that mentality of like, hey, let's give people a machine and then let them easily make it exactly what they need to. You know, if you're not going to be riding with people, like on the people on the back, or you just want like an accessory thing, it's just like plug and play. It's super simple. It's easy. I really dig that. I got to show you guys the reverse because it's too awesome. Okay. We're on the foot pegs. I wonder, what would this feel like? Like, what would the whole thing feel like if I put it all the way to the back? Damn, all that shit moves? Do you guys see all that? Oh, it's on the brake. Dude, that's awesome. Does this one have a ton of shit on it too? Oh snap, we in race mode, boys. I want to know how it feels. Like, what does that even feel like? Oh dude, you feel like this feels motorcycle-y. All right, I'm gonna ride the rest of the ride in motorcycle-y mode. All right, so to go into reverse, you just kick that back and you get the like truck mode of, yeah dude, you can just go in reverse all day long. What? So awesome. All right, let's do a backwards maneuverability test. Oh, pegged it. Let's do a parallel park. And we're professionals. All right, then we push it forward and we're back into forward. You know what, guys, to be honest, I don't want to put it in eco mode. I'm having too much fun in the rally mode, so we're gonna leave it in that, and we're gonna finish up this first ride. And I can go ahead and tell you, at this road up here, when I take a left turn, your boy is gonna go a little quick. Oh my god. Oh son, dude, rally mode is no joke. I love it. Okay. Whew. Oh, we're just gonna casually go sideways and then oh my goodness. Okie dokie. You can't drift into a road and go straight. Oh my god. Okay, focus. We're doing a review for the people. They need to know things, not just how it can drift. Are you gonna, you know, that just brings a point into my head about the that truck. Something you got to keep in mind with the Can-Ams is it is a, I don't think it's car width wide, but it is not a motorcycle. So you're not going to have that maneuverability of, if a car comes into your lane, you know, you can kind of get to the far left or the far right and give you a little buffer time for that car to figure out why the hell they can't drive. You don't have that with a Ryker or any other Can-Am because the thing's wide. So that is something you're definitely going to need to keep in mind. You know, if you live in somewhere that's legal to lane split, you're not going to be able to do that, you know, if you're in California or something. So you are stuck with traffic laws. That's really gonna probably deter a lot of people in those areas that, you know, you buy a motorcycle so that you can lane split. So stuff to keep in mind. Not a reason to not get this or, you know, be looking into it, but it's just stuff you got to think about when making a purchase like this. These mirrors shake like hell. They are cool though. They kind of remind me of the Street and Speed Triple, how they have the mirrors stock. I dig it. Oh, what, we're going? You know what's funny? When you can spin the rear tire, you suddenly care way less about acceleration. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because, like, why care about accelerating when I can just like spin the rear tire and make fun noises when I go? You know what I mean? I am noticing with these things all the way back, it cramps my leg a little bit to hit the brake, because I have to, like, my leg has to come back. So I don't recommend sport mode if you're 5'10" and have my inseam. Okay, so negatives, a little shaky up here. I don't really care about that thing. Actually, you know what? That reminds me. The Polaris Slingshot does the exact same thing. The fenders on the wheels, they shake a lot. I don't know what that's about. I don't really care about those, but these things I wish they didn't shake. Does it shake less when I'm holding it? It shakes a lot less when I'm holding it. Okay, noted. Because, like, it doesn't matter if they shake when I'm not holding it, right? See, as long as you're holding the handlebars, there's not a lot of shake issue. So I guess there's not really a shake issue at all, because, like, if you're going and you're not holding the handlebars, then bruh, you got a problem. Can we see what the horn sounds like? My position of choice is my foot way up front. I don't like it pulled back, but I do really appreciate the customizability of it. Alright guys, so final thoughts. Who is this thing for? Can-Am Ryker is best for somebody that you've driven automatic cars your entire life. You kind of like motorcycling. You don't want to shift into something that's manual drive and clutching and all that kind of stuff, but you're looking for that freedom and that feeling of being out in the environment while you're riding. This is probably going to be your best bet as far as entry levels into the three wheels. Honestly, I would choose this over other Can-Am options just because of that simplicity of the look and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, just somebody that's looking into getting into that freedom of riding around. Or maybe you just don't want a bike. Maybe you authentically do want a three-wheeler. In that case, now you have an entry-level option. So Can-Am, good job. So see, like, that's another Can-Am option. That's a Can-Am Spider. But look how big that thing looks versus how, like, small and agile this thing is. You know what I'm saying? Look how big that is. That's like a touring type situation, dude. I don't want that. I want this little thing. Oh, I'm backing this thing up. You can bet your ass. So yeah, guys, that is the Can-Am Ryker. I do like the name too. Alright dudes, that brings us to the end of this first ride. That's a solid little machine. I love the customizability, and I think that 900 is the money thing. I kind of wish I had LEDs now that I'm looking at it. But anyway, guys, that's all I got for you. If you enjoyed this video and got to this point, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you like motorsports type first rides, or this video. The entire channel is about motorcycles and motorsports and stuff like that. I'm Chaseontwowheels. Another shout out to Mountain Motorsports in Marietta. If you guys are in the area, highly recommend coming and checking them out. They have a huge selection. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Later.